So today's going to be interesting. We did the poll yesterday. 70% of you asked me to leave. Let's see what happened. So welcome back. As you can see, we haven't left. Why? Why haven't you left, Ben? This is going to be more of an explanation episode, more than a doing episode. So let's start to explain. So I'm in an interesting spot with the Morecambe career right now, with my career in general. If it were real life, how would I describe this? I'm on the cusp of something brilliant. People in the lower leagues are aware of my ability, but people above that, they've got no idea. They don't care. They're still going to hire Roy Hodgson. They're not bothered about me and what I've achieved with Morecambe. The fact I've taken them from the depths of League 2 to the high life of League 1. They don't care. They're not bothered. And as things stand, in terms of my reputation as a manager, in terms of my ability as a manager, good media handling, Ben, still improving it, we're decent. You know, we're not quite at the 2-star level. We're very, very close at the 2-star level, but we're about a 2-star level. Not only are we a 2-star level, but the team we're managing, Morecambe, are a 2-star team, and that is where we stand right now, which makes things quite tricky. Now, here's the situation then. A lot of you said, and I took a lot of what you guys said in the comment section and on Twitter as well, a lot of people tweeted me this, that, look, if you can't get a job, Ben, don't force yourself to take a lesser one. Just keep applying throughout the season and see what you get. And that's what we'll do. Now, there'll be some of you sitting there going, I'm sure there were jobs. Take some of the jobs. There weren't any jobs. And when I say they weren't any jobs, this is kind of what I mean. And to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about here. If we take Morecambe, for example, we've recently signed a player called Kieran Dowell. Okay, I'll show you him in a moment. This player here is definitely the best player we have at the club. I want you to remember Kieran Dowell as we go through. That's Kieran Dowell. Drink it in. Good. Decent, 4-star player, good player. That's important now for as we move through some of the other teams of a similar ability to Morecambe. Now, although some of these teams, for example, in the Icelandic Premier Division are a 2-star ability team, they're in sort of the lower reaches of the Icelandic Premier Division, they're never going to progress higher than this, and their key player, I think you'll admit, I mean, he's got some nice attributes there, good acceleration, good first touch, good passing, isn't quite of the standard of the player we've currently got. Sure, he's 19, he's going to develop, but we currently have a better player. He's 19, their best player's 19. And they're 9th in their division. They're not challenging these top tier teams. It's always going to be a struggle to get them from there to the top level. You can see there's already quite a gap between the best and the rest. It's a problem, and this is a theme throughout. Again, we come to Dalkurd FF, Swedish First Division Elite, this team here. Again, a 2-star team, similar to Morecambe, but you might think, well, Swedish Premier Division, surely it makes more sense to go there. Again, if you look at their key player, he's, again, good centre-back, really solid centre-back, but is he really going to be that much better than what we have at our club as an overall whole? If you look at that, like their whole prospect, for example, he's no better than a Josh Mottershead, who is our sort of young prospect. This is the issue we've got with every team. There's not an obvious step up. When we went from Shelburne to Morecambe, there was an obvious step up to me. There was a team there that had some good players. It just needed a push and a bit of a boost, and we've given it that. And I think as a manager, I'm probably ready to take that next step, whether it's a second tier in another division. I'm thinking about Spain, I'm thinking about Italy, Germany, any of these second tier teams. France is another example. Any of these just sort of on the cusp of 2.5-star sort of teams, and as you can see, there's none here that are actually available. And even when they come available, like don't think I've not applied for 2.5-star jobs. I have a lot of it. The fans laugh me out. They're going, well, the fans have laughed off interest. So there's a spokesman constantly. Tenerife nearly happened. The fans weren't interested. Not that they made the decision, but, And although we're a 2-star team, and although I'm a 2-star reputation, these, for example, Braun, in the Norwegian Premier Division, do you know what? This would be an example. Braun will be our example. It'll be funny now if they say, come and have an interview. But Norwegian Premier Division, 10th in that, struggling a little bit, but, there might be a little bit of potential there. You never know. I will apply for it, just to give you an example. They're a 3-star team, average budget. We'll apply for the job. Similar wage budget to us, it should be said. We'll see what happens throughout this episode. It's unsuccessful. The interview process is over. That's gone well. We'll see if there's another one. Athletic Club Ajaccio, maybe? They're League On, so they're never... I mean, this is the sort of thing that's never going to quite come off for me. Again, though, 3-star team, similar to what we just went for. We'll do that again. Much higher wage budget. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be successful with that. But they've received it. We'll see how it goes. Now, because we've stayed at Morecambe, of course, things have had to happen. I've had to make a few signings, a few familiar faces to those who watch the Salford story. But we'll start off then with a few of the outs. Strambelli's gone on a free, which is much of a much-news. Raluce has actually left for money, which was the big deal here, at £83,000. He's probably worth a little bit more than that, but, you know, we'll take that. I think his value was about 100,000 when we sold him. So we made a little bit of a profit. We bought him for nothing. And that meant we had to bring in some players. Overall, I think the squad's actually in decent shape. The players that we've got, a lot of them have just progressed and grown over the last year, so there was no real need to bring in loads of talent to try and strengthen. I think League One, the expectation for a Morecambe side would be to survive in League One, maybe push for a mid-table finish if it's like a good first season. But the first signing then, Scott Murdoch, the Scottish, that's not a thing. The Scottish player who was recently at Ayr in the Ladbrokes League One. He's not amazing, but he's all right. 14 handed in, 14 reflexes. Chambers has gone back to Nottingham Forest. We couldn't get him back. So Scott Murdoch's come in. Currently 2.5-star ability. Could be 3.5-star. Hopefully, at some point in this season, will become a 3-star player, especially at 23 years of age. You'd expect that. I've already shown you Kieran Dowell. It looks like he's going to be a superstar for us. A slight improvement on Tiger, I dare say. 24 years of age. Has been at Everton for a long time. Didn't even have a club last year. Wasn't really involved in anything. I think he's been on a free for a while now, actually. But if brought him in, I think he could be the difference in this division. 4-star current ability with a little bit of room to grow as well. Moving on then, Herbie Kane, a name that a lot of you will recognise, on loan from Walsall, can play in a defensive midfield role, can also play slightly further forward as a playmaker or as a ball winner. He's got good tackling, passing stats for this division, physically very good, mentally solid as well. So Herbie Kane is back and still doesn't have a face, much like last time. And then finally, Josh Harrop returns to a save of mine. We had him for Salford last year. He was fantastic for me. He's recently been at Rotherham in the Championship. So to get a player that's been in the Championship, I'm quite happy with that. Of course, a Manchester United youth player as well. And he comes in on a free, looks decent, can play in the middle, can play out wide, can play like in a forward area as well. Basically can do it all if it's on the right side or slightly central. So that's nice. Lovely to see. And it'll be a welcome member of the squad, which leaves our squad, I should say, if we change to my preferred view, the Roadtrip view, I'm calling it. This is the team we're left with then. As you can see, we've got some good players in there. We're not a ready-made promotion outfit, but that's never going to be the case for a team promoted from League Two. That's very, very, very rarely going to happen. But I do think we're a side with plenty of ability, especially in the forward areas. Dowell, Walters, Selleck, you've got Noon and Headley behind him. Herbie Kane now sitting in defensive midfield role. We could bring Josh Mottershead in. I'm sure we will at some point. Josh Harrop can play a part, but I think for a starting 11, for what we've got so far, this is the side that will kick things off. And it will kick things off. We have a game today against Peterborough. I've been talking for a very long time without pausing, so let's crack on. Let's get into a game. Peterborough probably one of the better sides in this division. Shall we take a look at the preview? So season preview-wise, okay, this first time I've seen this. We're bottom of that. 24th is the prediction. 500 to 1 to win the league. Peterborough up in 8th with every chance. Have they got any good players then? Their best player is Camille Grabara, who looks... Who's the goalkeeper? Well, he's not amazing. Who's there? I mean, wow, interesting. Captain Taylor Moore looks decent. I mean, it's a very solid centre-back. They've also got Jack Robinson, formerly of Liverpool. I think he had loads about Blackpool. Yeah, QPR as well. Looks relatively solid. I mean, they bought him for 425k, which is more than we've ever bought a player for. Nice thing about this team as well, by the way, although their ability on this side looks quite good, the potential on the other side is also decent. Quite a lot of 4-star maybe players in there. Lewis Davis, of course, remains with us, as does Josh Mottershead, who I think this season might progress that a little bit more. Obviously, playing at a high level, players tend to progress that little bit quicker because they're playing a higher standard of football. So let's crack on then. Without any further ado, let's get into the game. Okay, now pre-season's gone all right. I hate this nonsense. So they're playing a very, very defensive formation. They're playing Hayden White on the right side, who looks okay, defensively all right. Jack Robinson on the left, who looks probably one of the best left-backs in the division, to be fair. And very, very defensive. Ryan East as well, doesn't look up to much. I'll be honest, looking through some of these players, I'm not that concerned. Sam Surridge looks all right. And Angol up front again looks decent, but I feel like we're relatively well matched against this Peterborough team. I did look through a few. I looked through a few League One teams to see where we would rank. I didn't look at Peterborough, but you can tell here that we're not that outmatched, really. All right, team talk's gone well. Of course, if you didn't pick up then, we're going to continue with Morecambe. But if jobs come up that I think we can go for, those 2.5-star jobs that we might be able to be into contention for, then we will certainly be applying for them and trying to move on. But for now, we stay at Morecambe. I think people will be fair enough with that. Of course, we could, yeah, you're right. This is a road trip. But as I said in the comments of yesterday's video, a road trip doesn't mean move around to lesser yourself. It's about progressing with a side and improving as a manager to get bigger jobs. And I think leaving Morecambe, we might take one step backwards. Of course, one step backwards could often mean 2 steps forward, but I don't feel like at this point in particular that's the case, and I don't want to risk being in this position at a League One club in a very secure job to go and take something abroad that might not work out, and we might be struggling as relegation candidates for a while and never really moving forward. So that's the first half. Nothing happened. You watched the whole thing as I talked through it, but in a way, I mean, the first game of the season away at Peterborough, that's not too bad. I think I'm going to get passionate with them. Happy with the performance so far. Keep it up. They seem all right with that. We're going to get assertive as well. Then you weren't that bad, but I believe you've got more. And I mean, so far they're reacting rather well. Of course, on the bench, Mitch Lyons is there. Tiger, Lewis Davis. We've got some nice game changers now. I feel like on the bench. Let's see how we get on. We're still in that control style, flexible football. Instructions for those that are interested, by the way. More closing down, higher tempo, shorter passing, retain possession, and we are looking for the overlap with our wing backs. 2 forward men haven't really been involved so far though. Position we might look to change up as Peterborough, with the first real chance of the game, Gladwin takes on his man, pulls it back across, and Surridge with the goal. I do fear that'll be the sort of goal that bites us more often than not. 15 minutes or so left to go. We're going to bring on Lewis Davis up top for Walters, play him as the target man, go slightly more direct with our passing as well, and hopefully try and pinch something. I should say, as I said all that, Peterborough came forward, had another chance. In terms of possession, I mean, it doesn't seem to be, no matter what division we're in, Jack Robinson makes it 2-0. We highlighted him before. Wasn't expecting the left back to score from a corner. I think it's quite clear, though, that the bookies think we are the worst team in this division. We're not proving wrong right now, are we? So, yeah. You can see then the corner comes in. Decent corner too. This is probably one of the biggest stadiums we've played in, I realise. Robinson, he flies at it. Good header, I have to say. And 2-0 down. We're going to bring Tiger on. Of course, he knows the division well. We're going to push him slightly further forward. I don't know what I'm doing now. Let's take Dowell off, actually. Bring on Mitch Lyons for Dowell, who's not had the greatest of debuts, I'm not going to lie. And then maybe play Tiger just in behind as the advanced playmaker on attack behind Davis and Selleck. New division, a lot of adapting to do. I do think Peterborough are probably one of the better sides in the division. They're probably, like I say, top 8. So I'm not expecting too much, especially away from home in the first game. The ball's pulled across. This would be some strike. Well, I mean, to say it was unmarked was an understatement. A bit concerning. I must say, though, it's all well and good saying you're going to play a possession-based tactic, but the fact it's working in this division does give me some hope. We're the best team in terms of passing last year in League 2. We're bringing that to League 1 football as something's going on here. Hutchinson's been called over. What on earth is... Everything okay, officer? I mean, referee? Just lectured him. Just gave him a lecture. We've got a free kick. Selleck, he's not known for a great delivery, but plays to Herbie Kane, who I was hoping was going to be fouled and we would get ourselves a chance. I now fear that they'll be on the attack. Mitch Lyons as well. Forward towards Lewis Davis. And now Peterborough look like... This is shouting counter-attack, isn't it, to us here? McGowan, this has got to be good, whatever you do. Chef, Murdoch... It's an okay ball out. The header is panicked as Peterborough come forward again. There's not long to go here, and I feel like a third is almost ominous. It's a good defending by Edwards, but Surridge just found his way through. And my word, that was somewhat lethal. Oh, blimey. Okay, 3-0. Not a good start to League 1 football. I'm still rather happy about the possession, though. That's wrong, isn't it? You see here then, good strike, firm strike. Murdoch's not had the greatest of debuts, I'm not going to lie. Is Chambers available on loan again? I might have to go look. He wasn't before. He wanted to give him a chance in the first team. They obviously hadn't seen him play for us last year. As London Road then, Peterborough 3, Morecambe 0. I think, do you know what, calmly say, look, we were the underdogs, you gave it your best shot, good effort. I thought that would have been... Oh. All right, defensively, I'm going to get aggressive. Not happy with defensive work. That improved things. We'll leave it there. We shall leave it there. Right, then we've got some games coming up in the League Cup as well as Fleetwood. But there we are. That is going to wrap up today's episode. Let me know what you think then. Do you think this is the right choice? I'm going to actively look for jobs. I can't say or do any more than that, really. I mean, should we just quickly see if we're going to get the job offer from the other team? It's got to happen before the 10th. I'm not going to play another game, so we'll see. They received my application. This would be quite the end. Oh, Arsenal have offered me some fantastic loan talent. She's like, this affiliate's working out fantastically, by the way. Oh yeah, he's world class. I mean, I don't know whether at Arsenal. That's my real point of contention. Glenn McCabe was a winger I went for. He's rejected me. Left-sided. He looked good. We've sold 1,000 season tickets though, which is 300 and a bit more than last year, which is all right. John Sadler's coming in, centre back. Looks all right, relatively pacey. Bit slow, but he's, concentration, decisions, determination, heading, marking, tackling, all above 11, so we'll bring him in. We might need him this season. More defenders the better. I should say the board are getting a little bit peeved that I keep applying for jobs, by the way, so we'll see what happens here. And if I get sacked, it's going to be an awkward end to an episode. Oh, some good news. I mean, this ending hasn't been a waste. I've completed my A licence. I can now aim for a continental licence in the future. I think we know where this is going. All right, let's just start a coaching course. Yes, please, the Continental C licence. Oh, fancy. I think it would be beneficial for the club to allow me to take a coaching course to further my skills. Boom. We agree that having more qualifications will be helpful on the training pitch, therefore we will fund a coaching course. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. There we are then. £960. Easy as that. If anyone else is looking to get on a coaching course, Morecambe will give you the money. Usually they fight me for it, but nothing today. I think it's a bit worrying, actually. Didn't think I'd feel like this, but I'll say now, doesn't look as if the job is going to come back to me. So we'll end it there. With love, with care. Been up to Benji. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you have done, do drop a like on it. Let's aim for 1,000 likes, and there'll be another one of these tomorrow. So I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye from me and Morecambe. I'll keep looking. Don't worry.